Hey guys, what's up and welcome to a new Tesla update video. So today, as usual, let's go over the market and let's go over Tesla and let's figure out what has happened today, what we can expect moving forward, and all of that good stuff. So as usual, if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to hit that like button. This is not financial advice. I am not a financial advisor. And again, I do have my membership section down below if you're interested, where I pretty much update my thoughts on Tesla intraday as it moves throughout the day. All it is $2.99 a month, and you get access to that if, of course, you want that. If not, moving forward, jumping right into it, Tesla, of course, closing the day in the green, actually. In the green, but definitely a pretty weak day overall, closing up 0.82%, putting us at pretty much $272 per share. Compared to the market, however, definitely a bit of an underperformance, with QQ, for instance, up 1.3%, which we'll go over something important there, at least so far. We'll go over that pretty soon as well, about halfway into the video. But the thing to note here that's important is the fact that even though Tesla still looks pretty okay for now, and it still has potential to, like I said, maybe rally to like 290-ish, maybe 300, but, maybe like high 280s to 290. I still think that's possible. It's definitely not acting the way I was hoping it would. Let's just say that, right? It started off the day phenomenal, right? It was all the way up in the, 275. It's pretty much exactly the level I set, actually, right over here. How it needs to be breaking about the 276 to 277-ish level, and that's pretty much roughly where we got rejected, right? It went as high as 276.5, really, right? Very crucial level, because that level would, of course, number one, it would be, we're currently at a resistance where you can see several times we had a lot of wicks down here, right? Where right around this 276-ish level, where we bounced off of it several times, and rejected several times right here, you can see. So a pretty crucial level, this 276.5-ish level. But on top of that, it's also going to be the level that it wants to really break out of and hold above, to break out of this potential downward channel that we're currently in for the short term, which again could be, like I said many times, part of this overall potential bull flag. That's the flagpole, and that's the pole, rather. That's the flag itself. And then of course you break out, and then you essentially go up even higher, right? So that is a possibility still, but it really wants to be breaking above that level. So the thing that's concerning to me here, however, is the fact that, like I said, Tesla only being up 0.82% and pretty much giving away a decent amount of the gains throughout the day, because I think from yesterday's close to the peak today was up, 2.5%. So yeah, giving that up is a little bit disappointing, but nonetheless, right, the fact that QQQ is up about 1.3% and Tesla's only up 0.8%. In theory, Tesla should be up about like maybe 2.5%-ish, give or take, right? Assuming it was just simply following the market and nothing else. Shows a little bit of weakness on Tesla, right? Shows a little bit that, maybe it's at a point where, maybe there's not that much more room to the upside. So that's not something I wanted to see. I really did want to see a bit more strength today, but we'll go over that. It doesn't mean it's all over. It doesn't mean that the dream to, 290 or whatever is over. There is still, of course, a possibility. So like I said, looking at the 2-hour chart, for instance, right, the main channel that we're at right now is this right here. Now, the crucial levels are as follows, right? Again, like I said, for the bulls to unlock the potential move to at least 282-ish, and if not all the way up to 290, would be pretty much breaking above this around 276.5 level. Like I said, that will be above this overall resistance level, which, I guess we can draw a line for now. But pretty much right around here, you can see, right, a lot of candles that are getting rejected and supported all around this level, like heavy dancing happening around this level, right? You can see it more clearly now, I hope, right? Very, very crucial level there. So as long as Tesla can break above that, and also that would, naturally break out of this, downward channel or bull flag or whatever you want to call it that we're currently in, that would be fantastic. And I think we would pretty much go right up to this 282 level almost instantly. And then I think from there, if we break above that is when we really unlock the potential to, really truly touch the intersection here. You can see of the two overall channels or trends rather that we're in, right? The green one, of course, being this overall trend or a rising, I guess, wedge, if you will. Rising channel, actually, sorry, is a better word, that we're in right here with the green lines. You can see the overall one ever since the lows all the way over here, right? And of course, you have the overall red one over here, where you can see we've had several touch points all the way up at these levels over here. Haven't really touched it since, and we're exceptionally close to it right now. And I wouldn't be surprised if we actually do get like a more, confirmed touch of it, if you will, confirmed retest of it once again. And that really wouldn't completely shock me, but I'd be surprised if there's that much more room up after that. So without, of course, at least some kind of like actual cool off period, because I don't think this is enough of a cool off to me. I think I personally want to see a bigger cool off, so that there's more momentum that can be built, more buyers can step in at more, I guess, reasonable levels according to the buyers, I'm assuming, right? And then from there, you kind of build a new base, and then you create that new, essentially, launch pad back up, which again, to me, is going to be at least in the 240s, if not all the way down to 220s. That's just what I see, right? I could be completely wrong, of course, but that's currently what I foresee and I am seeing right now. Because again, we are showing a little bit of weakness relative to the market on such a good CPI day. Well, not great, but it was pretty good, right? It came at 3%. Expected was 3.1. So CPI inflation came in a little bit lower than expected, which is great, which is why the markets are having a good day. But again, Tesla not following suit as much as I would like to see. Going to the daily, you can see the 21 EMA is catching up to us pretty aggressively here, which is a good thing and a bad thing. It's a good thing because that's, support is pretty damn close, right? It's not really too much farther below before we get to, a pretty decent support level, which of course is the 21 EMA. The thing that's scary about it when it's this close to us is the fact that whenever it's this close, it technically is also easier to break because there's a lot less room to fall in order to it now be broken to the downside and going below the 21 EMA, right? It's not that much more room. It's not that farther under us, right? You know what I mean? I hope that makes sense, because if we do go down even just a bit now, it seems like, right, we will essentially go potentially under the 21 EMA. And if we start closing candles below it, that would start being a little bit even more bearish. So, that's something that could be a little bit of a cause for concern. So you definitely want to be paying attention to that. The Bollinger Band, like I said, is still just getting tighter and tighter and tighter, right? Still looking like it's more or less kind of converging for the most part, and I still think it'll be, like I said, several times already, probably for the most part, I think it'll be potentially a bit of a boring week and a half-ish for Tesla, pretty much leading up into earnings. And I do think that overall we will just go kind of sideways here for quite a while before the earnings happens, or maybe we'll get a run up closer to earnings, but I don't think too much is going to happen before that. So I wouldn't be surprised if this week is a little bit of a boring week, and it has been a boring week and will continue to be one potentially as well for Tesla, which sometimes is a good change of pace for how volatile the stock is, right? Now, the thing that's important to know for QQQ here as well, that of course affects Tesla, is several times to me the 370 level-ish was extremely important, right? We came up to it several times, we got rejected by it several times, right? And now you can see the QQQ actually finally went above the level that all these candles couldn't really go above, and especially let alone close above. But now it has, and not only has it closed and above, it's actually came back down today and retested this level. It's going like a 15-minute actually, right? It's came back down to this level over here that it's had issues before, and actually turned what was a resistance now into a support and bounced right off of it, and is closing at a pretty high level right here compared to where the other candles essentially were not able to close, but did reach but couldn't close, right? So that's a pretty decent sign for the tech market in general, which tells me that there might be actually a little bit more room to the upside for tech before, again, like I said, an actual cool off begins. But the thing I can't shake off is, of course, we still have the bearish divergences on the QQQ, on SPY, and especially on Tesla. Just exceptionally obvious bearish divergences, which again, to me is a big warning sign. Again, it doesn't mean that it has to happen today, tomorrow, even next week, especially on the daily. This is a very lagging kind of indicator. And to me, this tells me that it will take some time before this really comes into play. So I still think that, before that happens, I do think that there is still a possibility of a run up to about 290. But again, I wouldn't be extremely confident in it. I don't have a huge long position right now. I do have a long position, but it's not aggressive. It's just enough to, have some skin in the game in case we do. And the final thing to note is the fact that the volume you can see on Tesla is extremely low, right? Very, very low volume, pretty much the same volume as yesterday, which is a little surprising to me. I did think the volume would be a bit higher now that CPI is done, but maybe we'll just get low volume as accumulation happens up into earnings before the real move actually begins. So that is a possibility as well based on what I'm seeing right now. So that's overall what I am seeing. We have the 100-day moving average well below us as well. We have the 50-day moving average well below us as well. We have the 200-day moving average also well below us. So we're above all these meaningful moving averages, which is a good sign for Tesla, which is why I think the overall trend in theory should be up for Tesla, even if we get a cool off. And the last thing is, of course, the 10-day moving average. You can see we are kind of bouncing off of it right here, but if we start closing candles below it, that's when things can get a little bit dicey potentially. So those are the main things I am personally eyeballing and looking for. So let me know what you guys think down below. I would say the next major catalyst for Tesla and really the market in general as well is going to be earnings coming up overall for just, the market in general, but potentially more importantly and more short term is going to be the earnings for banks. That we have JPM coming up on Friday, Goldman Sachs next week, Wednesday, same as Tesla. We have Bank of America coming up also next week, Tuesday. So, Wells Fargo Friday. We have some pretty massive bank earnings and big dog banks as well coming up. So which, it can affect the market, which of course can affect Tesla based on what they show and say and whatnot. So that's, I would say, the next major catalyst. But all that being said, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed, don't forget to hit that like button, and as usual, of course, I will see you tomorrow. Peace.